Welcome to Hanging Out with Robert, that's me. This video contains things that I encounter throughout the day. If for some reason I complete a task and you would like to see the details, you can click on the link in the description area below. This video also contains tips and tricks that I learned throughout the years. I plan on leaving this video accessible for about 30 days. After that, you can view it through my Patreon account. Thank you very much for watching. Kicking off the Tinker Day, wondering what is going on with my booster box. Look at that thing. Doing the magic countdown. Like it's on some super drain from the space shuttle. 87, 84, 81, 80, 79, 78. Then I plug the charger in and it'll just reverse. Act like it's charging right back up. Plug the charger in. Look at that. 78, 80, 82. Like it's charging up. Something is seriously wrong with this thing. In 1 minute, it has went from 100 to 60, all the way back up to 100. Don't think that's gonna work. We are about to get with it. Throw down. Look at all that stuff down there. Man, looks brand new. That timing stuff. Head's gonna be brand new. Transmission's gonna be swapped. I told Manny it's gonna be ready for racing. He trying to play it down like he's getting old or something. He know he's gonna be racing. This is probably the reddest yet. Look how red that fluid is coming out of there. Awesome. Manny has a little invention hack that I absolutely love. Where is that thing?
I took it apart.
You took it down? Why'd you take it down? He's gonna put it back. Manny took his battery clamp, drilled a little hole in it there, put a rope through it, and tied it off, and tied it to something to the car. He hooked his on his transmission line, but you could tie this off on anything. That way your battery clamp doesn't disappear. I find these things missing all the time.
Yep.
This has got to be the best idea I've seen in years. Don't lose your battery clamp. Put a leash on that thing.
You don't know her?
Pop these axles out. I'm getting better and better at it. And it's because of this chisel. Man, I put that in the separation, hit it a few times, less than 30 seconds, that axle is popped out. Got to get you a chisel for your team on getting these driver side axles out. We are ready to get this transmission out of here, almost. Since the cylinder head wasn't in here, we didn't have the torque arm support bracket there. So I ran a bolt that bolts the transmission to the engine through this hole up here that this bracket goes through. I ran it all the way through because it's attached to the top of the block. And then I ran a bolt in the back side of it with the chains through it, because that's how we're going to support that side of the engine. And we were able to get this lined up straight, so it'd be easy to get everything in and out after we drop the subframe. So next, I'm dropping the main subframe bolts, dropping the subframe, and then we're going to lower the engine down a few inches and then tilt it down this way so we can get the transmission out. Take the last bolt out of the transmission, get that transmission off, flex plate off, and put our flywheel on. I think we're going to do a rear main seal too, because we're here, and start putting everything back together. Decided to hook a chain up. Hey, the chain fell off the bar for the steering rack. Hook the chain up to this bar to support the steering rack, so the steering rack wouldn't fall down and the dang chain broke. How in the world that happened? Looked like somebody cut it off. Oh well. Anyway, I'm gonna get this steering rack supported back up here so it don't hang down and pull out of the car, hopefully. Now, the subframe's out. Manny's gonna clean that up. That subframe was caked up with stuff. But this is the transmission that we pulled out of that car the other day that was gummed up and gunked up with oil and grease inside it now. And he got this thing looking real good inside and out. So he's gonna clean the subframe up too so we can put that back in better condition. And I'm getting ready to lower this engine and trans down and then tilt it and pull the last bolt out of this transmission after I get the transmission jack under it. And there'll be a nice transmission for somebody if you want to buy it. It ain't gonna work for some reason. It's a 96 transmission. It'll fit perfect in cars that have the, if your transmission has this tag and part number, it'll work fine for you. 50-42 LE. If that's what you need, that's what this is. From 96 to 2000, maybe 99. If you got a 94 car, it may work in the 94 and 95 cars, but you'll have to wire the speed sensor up differently because this one does not have the speed sensor plugged into the back of it. Guess what, folks? The transmission is out. And when it unplugged, it tilted and it kept that ring in the transmission instead of in the engine. And when it did that, it broke that tab off the engine. So, not a real big deal, but it took half of that tab with it. See how thick that tab is? We may glue it on there with some JB Weld steel. Weld, may not. We'll see how we fill up to. Time to knock off this flex plate, get at that rear main seal. There you have it, folks. The flex plate is off. The rear main seal is actually dry. Looked like it had a bad cam seal leak at one time. Back half of the engine is wet and grimy. But, yeah. Rear main is dry. Let's get under here and get a closer look at that bolt load off the engine that's busted where that guide was. So you see there, about a third of it broke off. Still got 2/3 on the engine. Lunchtime's over. Time to get back at it. The clouds are cooperating. It's going to be a little cooler. And first I'm going to do is put in that rear main seal. Put that flywheel on. Clean that up. Clean up the transmission. Bolt that new clutch assembly on. And then do the shift cables and all that stuff. Then bolt the transmission on. Got the rear main seal in, and that thing tried to go in crooked even with the tool, but it is set equally around the whole way around. Don't see any seal material hanging out nowhere, but on the top it was hanging out when the bottom was almost all the way in, so I had to focus tapping in the top. So it looks like it's fine. We're going to clean up the surface of this transmission, clean the inside up a little bit, and then mount the flywheel. There is the pilot bearing bushing. This one actually looks worn. The torque converter rides in there. Nothing from the manual system touches that. So you can replace it if you want, but it's not used on manual cars. We got the flywheel bolts in, getting ready to torque them one at a time. Got all of those flywheel bolts in, torqued down, and degree torqued. Now we're getting ready to put the clutch in. You just got to remember that the side with all of this junk on it, the spring sticking out, that's the side that goes out toward the gearbox. And it says there, gearbox side. If you put this in like this, with all of this junk pointing in, it's just going to hit those bolts. I don't even think it's possible to put that up there. Yeah, that don't even touch without hitting the bolts. So it goes this way with all the springs and stuff out. See, it sits flat on the flywheel. So if you put this on backwards, you're just telling everybody you rode the short bus. Couldn't find it in none of my videos, but these bolts to hold the pressure plate on, I believe the 18 foot-pounds, locks that on there. Let's go take care of the inside stuff so we can get this thing ready to put the transmission up. Getting this inside out, pull the center console out, getting ready to pull that shifter out, pull the pin out of there so that shifter linkage can go. Then we're going to pull that clip out of there. Lift that shifter up out of the way. When I took this loose from the steering rack, a piece of metal fell down. And it was this piece right here. This is part of this pivot piece. There's a little window that this is in. And if this is broke, sometimes that will fluctuate and cause it to be hard to steer the vehicle. So when I get this out, I'm going to show you how to see if this is broken in your vehicle, if you have issues steering. If you look right in there, that's a centering pin, and that centering pin goes from here all the way through here, and it's designed to break off an accident, and this car has been in an accident. So when I took this loose, the centering pin fell out like that. So this is part of it. And if you look in there now, you could probably see the piece that's broken. So that gets broken, and it could cause this to fluctuate, this rubber grommet, and cause your steering to get bound up. So you definitely want to replace that. You can just look down there, see, like there you can see daylight through that thing, and that's letting you know that thing is broken. Somebody did a boost gauge mod. Look at there in the vent. Man, that looks awesome. However, they ran the vacuum line through the brake pedal bracket. So it's got to be disconnected or cut or something. Let me talk to the owner. You got to run it way over there. I don't know where that thing is going. Woo-wee. Not sure if you remember this hose snapping off on us when we were trying to pull this clutch master cylinder out of the donor car. Well, FCP had a brand new line in stock. Went by there, picked it up. I'm a little disappointed that it doesn't have this clip on the end. But I guess this clip is part of the master cylinder. So I'm going to pull that out. Disconnect this line out of here, put the clip back in, and push this in until it snaps in place. And then I'm going to install this in the car. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.